South China Morning Post, 13 February 2024, the pro-China leader of the Solomon Islands promises to keep striking a balance with Australia while running for re-election. China continues to influence the Solomon Islands leadership financially despite widespread anti-Chinese riots and sentiment among the general populace. If it wins re-election in April, the ruling party in the Solomon Islands has promised to create a pragmatic balance between closer connections with China and its relationships with traditional partners like Australia. After re-entering office in 2019, Manasseh Sogavare, the Prime Minister of the Pacific Island, has adopted a pro-Beijing posture and charged that agents of Western powers are attempting to topple his administration. Since then, he has broken diplomatic ties with Taiwan to support Beijing, and in 2022, he signed a security agreement with China that caused Western nations to express alarm over Beijing's expanding military presence in the area. However, diplomatic analysts cautioned that becoming too close to China would trigger a backlash domestically and from other nations in the Pacific, including the US. The ruling Ownership, Unity and Responsibility Party announced on Tuesday that it would look to take advantage of both Australian infrastructure financing and the prospects presented by China's Belt and Road Initiative. The statement read, "The party will foster ties with other traditional partners, such as Australia, while strengthening relationships with China through a look north foreign policy. As a party, we are dedicated to the friends to all and enemies to none approach," Sogavare said. Sogavare said in December that China and Western countries, fighting for influence in the Pacific, were engaged in a geopolitical war centered on the nation. "We must wake up," he added, accusing the US of having a geopolitical superiority complex and claiming that Chinese investments may help his nation become less dependent on outside aid. "Those times have passed." When the nation votes in April, Sogavare, who has held office on various occasions since 2000, will be running for a fifth term. The opposition claimed the administration was bulldozing democracy when the country's parliament enacted a bill last year delaying the election until after it had hosted the Pacific Games. Sogavare's guidelines remain unchanged. He has embraced China while preserving ties with Australia, stated Alan Tidwell, director of Georgetown University's Centre for Australian, New Zealand, and Pacific Studies. "It's just an acknowledgement of the ground reality." He continued by saying that Sogavare's approach to China was designed to strengthen his reputation as a capable leader. According to the Australian think tank the Lowy Institute, China is the Solomon Islands' most significant commercial partner and grew to be the second biggest official source of development assistance in 2021. Researcher Corey Liebell of the Australia-China Relations Institute at the University of Technology Sydney hypothesised that Sogavare's China policy may have originated from worries over sovereignty, specifically concerning Australia, its longtime ally in terms of security. His strategy has centred on preventing necessary economic and security support from stronger countries from translating into undue influence, the speaker stated. By using this tactic, Sogavare has been able to engage in the form of dynamic equal distancing or playing on geostrategic competition and leaning between Australia and China at different times, or in different ways. China and Australia contributed to the policing during the Pacific Games in ways that slightly resemble a bidding war, according to the speaker. He said other nations, like East Timor, have likewise tried maintaining good relations with China while working with Australia. He said that Fiji had been searching for partners outside of Australia and New Zealand since 2006, adopting a strategy akin to the Solomons Look North strategy. However, he claimed that stronger ties with China had presented new challenges because of extreme corruption and gangs. One of the incidents that damaged relations between Fiji and China in 2017 was when Chinese investigators, who appeared to have little regard for the legal system on the island, detained Chinese people who were allegedly operating online scams and flew them back. As has been the pattern in the Pacific over the previous few years, Bell said, Sogavare will probably know that if he gets too close to China, the threat from domestic opponents raising similar concerns about agency will increase. While no one will oppose Sogavare's efforts to pursue economic opportunities through partnerships with China, the speaker continued, he will likely face pressure from other Pacific Island countries as well as pressure from Australia and Washington to keep him from getting too close to Beijing on the security front. In addition, he stated that other nations in the area may be benefiting from strategic competition, but they want to keep a lid on it. They don't want to stoke tensions so that strategic competition becomes too high stakes and gets entangled in the struggle between great powers. Bell stated that if Sogavare is re-elected, he expected Washington and Canberra, accustomed to his robust language, to sit down and chat. Still, they would also draw a clear red line, stating that they did not want anything akin to a permanent Chinese military station or presence. Its relations with Canberra and Washington can be renegotiated as long as Honiara, the capital of the Solomon Islands, observes that, and I don't see why it wouldn't be, he stated. Sogavare will likely continue interacting with Australia, who historically will also look to resell or enhance their support in response to Sogavare's recalibration if we follow previous trends.